Hello again, this is Everard Junction and I've got a day off today, so I'm going to be doing as much as I can basically on the layout. Now you may have noticed that I've only got 4 sidings up at the top over there to actually store stuff, and with Christmas coming and new locos and me wanting to get started with new projects and things, I've decided to start building the TMD on this side of the layout. I just spin the camera around this area here, so starting on this corner so I can bring the track around and start making sidings. So I'm just going to show you how I do it basically. So I've started off at this end. I'm going to have a point in here. There it is. So that's going to go in there like that. This will go off round the corner, and this will be a little siding for spare locos to be stored in the station, like, you know, class 33 or class 20, something like that anyway. So let's get started basically, because I've got a long way to go. I was lucky to find this piece of Pico sort of set track stuff, because it's exactly the right length for this siding, which saves me a bit of flexi track, so that's quite useful. I'll just pop it in. Seems to be in fairly good condition, so might as well recycle it. These are just little plastic rail joiners. Because these are electrofrog points, you need to use a plastic one on this section of the point, otherwise the trains will short out the track. So it's important that you get some of those. You can also use something called a polarity switcher, which means you don't need these insulating joiners, but that's a bit more money, and I've noticed that with the joiners I don't really have any problems with my points as long as they're kept nice and clean. So I'll just do it this way basically. Hopefully this will connect up nicely. Give it a bit of a push. Wobble it in. There we go. There we go. Right, now I've got to nail it down and then start soldering some feeder wires. Right, so far I've laid this point and this small siding over here for spare locos, and now the points are working their way around the corner, working their way up until about 5 lanes, which will run all the way to the end of that board. Getting ready to solder some more wire droppers to this point here. You can see I've already done them here to power this track. Then I'll put some power here, some power there, and some here, where the track will then split off into more points, which I have here. So it's coming along fairly well so far. But it's taken quite a while, as usual, so I'll keep going. I've put the first siding in, just there. Put another one in now, just next to it. Goes all the way along. This is a curved point, just here, to help me get around the corner. And then these are just normal points. So, got about another 4 more sidings to do. Because I'm going to have the 2 here. That one and that one, they'll be fairly close together. They'll be for storing rolling stock, and then I'll have 3 in this area for storing locos. So should end up with a fair amount of storage at the end of this. Right, well yesterday I finished putting all the track in, so we got the 5 lanes up there. It's a different colour on this side because I ran out of this cork that I used to put under the track. So to keep the track all the same height, as I've run out of cork, I just used the boxes the track came in, just recycled them. But yeah, today I'm hopefully going to get these sleepers in places where there's a bit of a gap, like there, and solder all the feeder wires in. And then hopefully it'll all work, and then I can think about adding scenery to the area. Right, I've finished all the soldering. Now I just need to attach the wires themselves to the bus wire underneath the actual baseboard, and for that I've got these really handy little fixings which look like this. Now what happens is the bus wire, which is under the board under here, you put the wire in there, that's the wire under here, and then you clamp it like that. So now you've pressed the wire and the little metal bit inside penetrates it and gives you an electrical contact. Then you take one of these, connect this to the wires that you've soldered to the track, and then connect those wires into here by plugging it in, and that saves you having to solder the feeder wires to the bus wire, but it still allows you to have a strong electrical connection. So if track needs to be taken up at any particular point, you can just unsolder the wires you've attached to the track and then simply unplug it from the socket and then move the track elsewhere. So they're really useful. So I'll just I'll put those in just now, and then we should be ready to give it a test. Right, I finished soldering all the wires, wiring everything up underneath. I've added a couple of sleepers and stuff. Basically the sidings are ready to go and be tested. I've turned on the lens and it doesn't seem to indicate there's any shorts. All seems to be happy, so hopefully it'll work. So I just need a train to test it with now. So I'm going to use my Elgin 33, which is parked over there in the TMD. Let's just bring it down. And hopefully all my hard work will actually pay off. Working so far. Good, well the first siding works, that's a good sign, so I'll test all the others and clear up and actually run some trains. Another new arrival to the layout is this Deltic, which my dad got at the Worley show last weekend. And this is a really nice model as well. It may not be the right period, but I can use it on rail tours and stuff, so it can sort of fit in. It's a nice model anyway, so let's see if this does a good job of the new track work as well. Seems to cope fairly well. And that's good as well, because that's one of the biggest engines we have, so if that fits, everything will fit. Because I was a bit concerned about some of the corners because it's a little bit tight in places, but it seems okay. Got this little siding here as well for small locos like the 33 to sit in the station as a spare loco.